You're 7 years old. You're standing in the Yoshiwara Pleasure District watching your older sister disappear into a building with a man who just paid for her time. She's 12. You're next. The woman who owns you, the Yarit, the house manager, grabs your arm, pulls you inside. Your training starts tomorrow. You'll work as a kamuro until you're ready. Fetch things, clean, watch, learn. Learn what? You ask. She smiles. Not kindly. How to be worth more than your sister. Welcome to your life as an Oiran in Edo period Japan. You're going to spend the next 8 years being trained to become the highest-ranking courtesan in the most famous pleasure quarter in the country. You'll wear kimonos worth more than houses. You'll walk in parades where thousands watch you. You'll entertain samurai and merchants and lords. You'll be treated like royalty. And you'll still be a prisoner. A very expensive, very beautiful prisoner who can't leave and can't say no and can't ever truly own anything, not even yourself. This isn't about glamour. This is about control with better marketing. Your parents sold you and your sister 3 years ago, not because they wanted to, because they were farmers and the harvest failed and they had debts they couldn't pay. The brothel owner offered them enough money to survive. You and your sister were the payment. Your sister became a prostitute immediately. She was old enough. You weren't, so you became a kamuro, a child attendant to the Oiran. You fetch their things, carry their belongings, watch them work. You're basically a servant to women who are themselves servants. You're at the bottom of the hierarchy in a place that's already at the bottom of society, but you're being trained, watching, learning, preparing for the day you'll become one of them. The Yoshiwara is a walled city within Edo. 20,000 people live here. Most of them are women. All of them are trapped. There's one gate in and out. Guards check everyone. If you're a courtesan trying to leave without permission, they bring you back. If you're a client trying to smuggle a woman out, you're both punished. This place is beautiful. Elaborate buildings, cherry blossom trees, carefully maintained gardens, lanterns everywhere at night, music and laughter drifting through the streets. It looks like paradise. It's a prison designed to look like paradise so men will pay more to visit. You're watching the Oiran prepare for her evening appointments. It takes hours. Her kimono alone weighs 40 pounds. Multiple layers, elaborate patterns, gold thread. She can barely move in it. The hair ornaments take 2 people to arrange, dozens of pins, combs, decorations. Her makeup is white and perfect. Her lips are painted tiny and red. She looks like a work of art. She can't walk normally in this outfit. She has to do the Oiran Dochu, a special slow procession where she walks in figure-8 patterns. It takes her 10 minutes to cross a room. Men pay just to watch her walk. Why do you walk like that, you ask? Because they're not paying for a woman, she says. They're paying for a fantasy, and fantasies move slowly. You're 9 years old when you see your sister during the day. She's working the night shift. She looks exhausted. There are bruises on her arms. She won't look at you. How many men last night, you ask? 8, she says. Then she goes to sleep. 8 men in one night. She's 14 years old. This is her life now. This is going to be your life. Unless you become an Oiran, unless you're valuable enough to see fewer clients, rich enough clients, men who pay so much the house doesn't need you to see 8 men a night. That's what you're working toward, not freedom, just a better version of the same cage. You're 12 now, 5 years of training. You're reading and writing, which most women in Japan can't do. You're learning poetry, music, conversation, tea ceremony, how to play shamisen and koto, how to arrange flowers, how to discuss literature and politics and art. You're also learning how to flirt, how to make men feel special, how to read their moods and respond appropriately, how to drink without getting drunk, how to laugh at jokes that aren't funny, how to pretend you're interested when you're bored. You're 12 years old and learning to manipulate men 3 times your age. The Yarit explains the hierarchy. At the bottom are the regular prostitutes, the hashi. They service anyone who pays. Quick transactions, low prices, no prestige. Your sister is here. She sees 50 men a week. She's 17 now. She looks 30. Above them are the courtesans with more training, better clients, higher prices, more choice about who they see. At the top are the Oiran, the highest rank, the celebrities. You don't service just anyone. Clients have to be introduced properly. They have to visit multiple times before anything happens. They have to spend enormous amounts of money on gifts and entertainment and fees. Some men spend months trying to see an Oiran. Some spend their entire fortunes. That's what you're training to become. Not because it's better, because it's more profitable for the house, because men will pay more for the illusion of exclusivity. You're 15 when you make your debut as an Oiran. They've been preparing you for weeks. Your kimono cost more than most people earn in 10 years. Your hair ornaments alone could buy a house. You look spectacular. You look like art. You feel like merchandise. Your debut parade through Yoshiwara is an event. Hundreds of people line the streets to watch. You're wearing the 40-pound kimono, the tall wooden sandals that make you tower above everyone, the elaborate wig with dozens of ornaments that make your neck ache. You're doing the Oiran dochu, the figure-8 walk, moving so slowly it takes you 30 minutes to walk 3 blocks. Your feet are screaming in pain. The sandals are impossible. You're terrified you'll fall. But you don't. You can't. Everyone is watching. Men are staring. Women are jealous. Children are pointing. You're famous instantly. People will talk about your debut for weeks. You're also in debt. Massive debt. Everything they spent on you, your training, your kimonos, your debut, your room, your food for the past 8 years, it's all been added to your debt. You owe them more than you can comprehend. You're going to spend the next 20 years working to pay it off. Your first client takes 3 months to arrange. He's a wealthy merchant, 48 years old. He has to follow the rules. First visit, he comes to a party, watches you perform. You don't speak to him directly. He pays for the privilege of being in the same room. Second visit, he's allowed to sit near you. You pour his sake-make small talk. He brings expensive gifts, silk, jewelry. All of it goes to the house. Third visit, private dinner. You entertain him, play music, recite poetry, laugh at his stories. He pays more, brings more gifts. After the third visit, he's finally allowed to request a night with you. The house considers it, checks his finances, makes sure he can pay. Then they agree. He's spent the equivalent of a year's salary just to get to this point. You're 15. He's 48. He thinks he's special because he had to work so hard to get here. You know he's just another man who bought you with extra steps. The sex work is complicated. You're not seeing 50 men a week like your sister. You're seeing maybe 1 or 2 clients a week. But each encounter is elaborate. Multi-day affairs, dinner, entertainment, conversation, performance, then sex, then more entertainment. You're not just selling your body, you're selling an experience, a fantasy, the illusion that they're special enough to be with someone as exclusive as you. It's exhausting, more exhausting than just straightforward prostitution, because you have to perform every second. You can never drop the mask, never show tiredness or boredom or disgust. You're always on, always perfect, always an Oiran. Some days you're entertaining from 6 p.m. until 4 a.m., performing, smiling, laughing, being perfect. Then you sleep until 2 p.m., wake up, start preparing for the evening, 3 hours of getting dressed, hair, makeup, kimono, then back to performing. You haven't had a full day off in 2 years. You can't remember the last time you just sat quietly without having to be beautiful or charming or interesting. You're 18 years old and you're already exhausted. You're 18 now. 3 years as an Oiran, you're one of the top 5 in Yoshiwara. Men compete to see you, write poems about you, commission paintings of you. You're famous across Edo. You're also miserable. You work every night, sleep during the day, perform constantly. You're lonely despite being surrounded by people. You can't have real relationships, can't trust anyone. The other. Oiran are competition. The clients are clients. The staff work for the house. You're isolated in the middle of a crowd. You watch your sister sometimes. She's 20 now. She looks 40. Her body is destroyed. Her spirit is broken. She services 60 men a week, gets paid almost nothing. All her earnings go to her debt. She's never getting out. You're supposedly better off. Higher rank, better clients, more prestige. But you're in the same trap, just a prettier version. You're 22 when you get your first serious dana, a patron who wants exclusive access. He's a samurai, wealthy, connected. He offers to pay your debt in exchange for exclusivity. The house accepts immediately. You don't get a vote. Now you're his. He visits you 3 times a week. He's possessive, jealous. He doesn't want you seeing other clients. The house allows it because he's paying enough to make up for the lost business. You're not in love with him, but you're good at pretending. That's what you were trained for. He thinks you adore him. He writes you poetry, brings you gifts, talks about maybe buying out your contract someday, freeing you, marrying you. You've heard this before, from other men, to other Oiran. It never happens. Men say these things when they're infatuated, when the fantasy is strong, but they don't actually follow through. They have wives, families, reputations, your entertainment, not marriage material. You're 28 when your Dana dies. Heart attack, sudden. He's gone and his family refuses to honor any promises he might have made. Your exclusive arrangement is over. You're back to regular clients. Except you're 28 now. That's old for an Oiran. There are younger women, fresher faces. You're still beautiful, but you're aging out of your prime. Your value is dropping. The house starts giving you fewer clients, lower paying clients. You're being phased out, replaced. You see it happening. You're 32 when they move you down in rank. You're not an Oiran anymore. You're a regular courtesan now. Still working, still in debt somehow. But no more elaborate kimonos, no more parades, no more prestige. You're just another prostitute now, like your sister was, except your sister died 2 years ago. She was 30, overwork, disease, exhaustion. They buried her in a mass grave outside Yoshiwara. No ceremony, no marker, just another dead prostitute. You're going to end up the same way. You know it. You see your future in every older courtesan who's still working, still in debt, still trapped. You're 40 when you finally stop working. Your body can't do it anymore. The house lets you stay. Barely. You work as a yarate now, managing younger women, trapping them the way you were trapped, selling them the fantasy the way it was sold to you. You hate yourself for it, but you need to eat. You die at 53, disease, poverty, exhaustion. They bury you in the same mass grave where your sister is. No marker, no ceremony, no record you ever existed. You were 7 years old when they bought you. You spent 46 years in Yoshiwara. You walked in parades wearing kimonos worth fortunes. You entertained lords and samurai. You were famous. And you died in a mass grave with nothing. And speaking of women who were dressed in expensive clothes and paraded as status symbols while being trapped in systems they couldn't escape. Check out your life as a temple prostitute right here, because whether they called it sacred service or high art, being sold as a luxury object means the same thing. You were never free. Different title, same cage.